There's this guy, Josh, in my college class. He's not mean, I guess, but he's an idiot and he irritates the hell out of me. Every single smoke break, without fail, he bums a cigarette off of me. In the 10 months I've known him, he hasn't brought his own once. Another thing he does that irks me is he often texts me asking for answers on homework. I have no idea how he got my number. One time in particular, we had the following exchange. Josh, what did you put for chapter 12, question 7? Me, I don't have my book with me. What's the question? Josh, it's chapter 12, question 7. I just told you I don't have my book, dumbass. I could fill a book with examples of him being a dipshit, but what kicks this story off was when our whole class went to the bar to celebrate midterms finally being over. My best friend in the class is this girl named Lindsay. She is a formerly closeted lesbian, a fact she had only chosen to share with me. We're all at the bar, and Lindsay turns and asks me what I thought her chances were of hooking up with the cute redhead girl playing pool. Problem was, Lindsay had had more than a few drinks, and instead of asking me that, she asked Josh. Proper etiquette in a situation like that is to never mention it and pretend it didn't happen. Josh's idea of etiquette, however, was to write a Facebook post saying how awesome he thought it was that his classmate Lindsay is gay. Word spread, Lindsay's parents disowned her, and her sister stopped talking to her. After that, there were no more cigarettes for Josh, no more help with homework. That wasn't good enough though. Josh had destroyed Lindsay's relationship with her family, and he needed to pay. I spent days thinking up ideas to get back at him, most of them illegal. It came to me in class. Josh was sitting beside me, holding his phone under the table so the professor can't see it. I looked to see what he was doing, and he's rapid-fire right-swiping on Tinder. Remember, proper etiquette is to pretend you didn't see it. It was so simple. I kicked myself for not thinking of it sooner. Catfish him. Get him to reveal things he wouldn't want his family to know, and post the chat logs on Facebook under a fake account for everyone to see. Lindsay and I were in on it together. We installed Tinder on a cheap prepaid phone, and we took turns with it, in case Josh got suspicious of one of us. The pictures we used were taken from the Instagram account of an actress who had a minor role in a TV show from a few years ago. A pretty blonde girl with green eyes. We mirrored every picture so we couldn't do a reverse search on them. She has about 3,000 pictures, so we had plenty to choose from. It didn't take long to match with him, and then it was on. It was a lot more fun than I expected it to be. Our fake persona was a 24-year-old woman named Allison Combs. We created a whole life story for her. She was born in Norway, and her parents had immigrated to America when she was 2. She had wanted to enlist in the Navy, but couldn't due to a factory accident which led to her losing her right index finger and having pins put in her hand. She was studying to be a physical therapist and would be transferring to our school when the new term started. I think we were pretty damn convincing. After a week or so of messaging Josh on Tinder, we gave him the phone number. Whenever he called, Lindsay was able to change her voice just enough to not be recognizable. We were always going through What's-Her-Face's Instagram for new pictures to send, and steering the conversation to a point where sending them made sense. Things didn't get explicit until 2 days before Allison was supposed to show up. We tried to subtly start it, but subtly isn't Josh's strong suit. We ended up sending him a picture of a random pair of boobs we got from Google to get the sexy talk started. This whole thing was to get proof of Josh's perversions, and we definitely hit the gold mine. Some of his tamer fantasies included not being allowed to use the bathroom until he pissed himself, being laughed at while he ate nasty food and cried, and role-playing as Donald Trump. It was supposed to end with Josh coming to school one day expecting to meet Allison, and instead seeing his conversations with her all over Facebook. When I got to class, I sat in the row behind Josh so he couldn't see my screen. Lindsay sat next to me. I fired up my laptop, turned on my VPN, logged into the fake Facebook account, and got ready to start the upload. Right at that moment, the classroom door opened. "I know I'm late. I'm sorry. My car wouldn't start. I had to walk." The professor looked up. "No worries. I haven't started the lecture yet. Everyone, I'd like you to meet our new student, Miss Allison Combs." What the fuck? She sat down next to Josh, so I couldn't see her face. I spent all morning trying to rationalize it, thinking it had to be some insane coincidence. When we went on our first smoke break, I knew it wasn't. The girl was the spitting image of the actress girl whose pictures we used, who I know is living in Staten Island, not in our little Georgia town. Her and Josh sat with the rest of the class, while Lindsay and I sat at a different table, listening. We heard her talk about being born in Norway, moving here when she was 2, and how she wanted to be a physical therapist. Lindsay whispered to me, saying she wanted to go back inside. As her and I were walking by Allison's table, I saw that she was holding her cigarette between her middle and ring fingers. Her index finger was gone. What the hell is happening?